My name is Abhay Singh and I welcome you all in today's video analysis of The Hindu. Today is 10th of October 2024 and we'll start with the first news headline for the day. So the first news headline for the day is not good news at all. This is a kind of very sad news that the Tata Group's chairman in Emirates and veteran industrialist Mr. Ratan Tata passed away at the age of 86 at the Breach Candy Hospital. So this is a major blow for whole of this Indian commercial system that Ratan Tata, one of the most renowned figure in Indian markets, have passed away at the age of 86, and this is one tragic loss for this country. Each and every person of a country is mourning his untimely demise. Though his age was 86, but the recent update or the tweets by Mr. Tata have confirmed that he is just there in the hospitals for the regular checkup. But again, this is it. This has been the quite a good chapter in Indian history, the chapter of Mr. Ratan Tata. So this is the first news. Now we have to take a shift from this particular news to the next important news. So leaders are in a race to form a government in Jammu, Kashmir and Haryana. So after the results were announced for the state legislative assembly elections of Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana, now the calculations have been started by the party chief to appoint the chief minister. When it comes to Haryana, it is utmost clear that Nab Singh Saini is going to be the next chief minister of Haryana. And when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir, there is a lot of debate and discussion that is going on when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir. So we are not sure about Jammu and Kashmir as of now, but when it comes to Haryana, it is pretty sure now that the incumbent Chief Minister, Mr. Nab Singh Saini, is going to be the Chief Minister of Haryana again, and this is very important for the Haryana, for the state of Haryana as well, because there is a kind of incumbency against Manohar Lal Khattar. So BJP has to, you know, vacate the office of chief minister before the 6 months of completion and appointed Nab Singh Saini as the new chief minister of Haryana. This move paid off. And Nab Singh Saini has done something which no one was expecting. Everybody was expecting that when it comes to Haryana, the Congress is going to win the elections, but Nab Singh Saini played his role very carefully, and Bharatiya Janata Party has won the elections of Haryana for the third straight term. Now, after yesterday, when day before yesterday, when a lot of senior resident doctors resigned from their post in support in showing support to the junior resident doctor, in the support of junior resident doctor. Now more and more senior doctors are resigning at the Arjikar Medical Hospital for showing their support to the junior medical doctors which are actually working now, which are actually protesting against the various government policies. Now the issue is becoming bigger day by day. If the person is not in the office, if the person is not in the charge, then you cannot force him to work accordingly. So earlier when these doctors were sitting on the protest, the government of West Bengal was putting a lot of pressure on them. Then you have to resume your offices, you have to resume your services as soon as possible, otherwise we'll take some strict actions against you. Now the doctors have started resigning. This is one such news which will actually disturb the whole structure of the West Bengal, because if the doctors are not in service, the whole state will stop. Now the next important news that we have with us is recently, this is related to the Delhi University Students Union election, which recently took place in the entire Delhi University. Now, before the results could be published, there have been a very outstanding order by the High Court of Delhi, and while giving this particular order, the High Court has made sure that this order is strictly implemented. So High Court have said what High Court have said, that they are not going to release the results of the day, release of the DUSU elections until and unless the student union clear the entire public property which was defaced during the campaigning of the elections. So until and unless these candidates clean up the entire property which was defaced during the election, the DUSU results will not be declared. And this is one such step which have to be taken by with immediate effect, because until and unless you clean up all the mess that you have created, you won't be getting your results, right? So, and also this is going to be a learning lesson for the upcoming students as well, that if you'll deface the public property in the name of student election, the court will not spare you. You have to pay each and every single rupee to the as a fine, which basically government will put in cleaning the mess which you have created. So this is it. ये basically ये दिल्ली से related news थी जिसे हमने cover किया. Now we are moving into page number 3. So when it comes to Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party has said that it is going solo in Delhi. And BJP is not going to perform well, and Congress is overconfident. So Aam Aadmi Party is going solo in Delhi. So this is one important news. Now moving on to the next important news. Shinde Sena confident BJP's Haryana victory will benefit Yuti in Maharashtra. So again, these are just political news items. We won't be restricting ourselves to these political news. Again, a lot of advertisement. Then we are moving to then we move to directly page number 6. Now this is important again. 7 OBC communities from Maharashtra set for inclusion in Central List ahead of assembly elections due in Maharashtra later this year, which are scheduled to take place in the month of November. The 7 communities from the Maharashtra and will be included. 7 communities from Maharashtra will be included in the central list of other backward classes, which will now make them eligible to qualify for OBC's reservation for central schemes and appointment. So after these 7 communities have been included in the central list of the other backward classes, these communities will get the benefit of OBC reservation in the central schemes and appointment. So this is one important news. You don't have to remember the name of each and every community, but if you want to, then we have. So these communities are Lodh, Lodha, Lodhi, Bard Gujar, then Suryamun and Gujar, then Leve Gujar, Reve Gujar, Reva Gujar, Dangri, Bhoyar, Pawar, Kapewar, Munnar, Kapewar, Munnar Kapu, Telanga, Telangi, Pantareddy, and Bukekari. So these are the 7 communities and sub communities which have been included in the central OBC list from Maharashtra. So this is one important news. Now we are moving into the next important news, and basically we are moving into the editorial part. Now we are slowly into moving into the editorial part, and today's editorial is philosophically very important, but again, from examination point of view, only the day is important. Only the day is important. Except day, nothing is important. So this is today's 10th of October 2024, and on 10th of October, the 10th of October is celebrated as World Mental Health Day. So today is World Mental Health Day. Please remember this 10th October. World Mental Health Day, and the theme for this particular day: prioritizing mental health in the So 10th of October is observed as World Mental Health Day, and the theme for 2024 is prioritizing mental health in the workplace. So we'll start this particular article with the very example which was very much into the discussion recently, when an earnest and young employee died because of the work pressure, because of the lot of work pressure. So we'll start with this particular example, that how the aspiration of the entire country is causing a lot of problem for the youngsters and the youth of this country, when we are actually comparing the actual development or growth with the material things. So this is the one big problem that we have to understand, that the youth of this country is basically is trying to focus on the growth, and their parameter of development, or their parameter of growth, is this material development or material growth. Now in September, a 38-year-old software engineer with 15 years of experience in a Chennai base from ended his life. He was on medication for the depression caused by work stress. So these are the things that we have to understand. And in India, this is an unfortunate thing for our country, that in a country like India, where a lot of people or a lot of person are suffering from this mental trauma and mental issue. In India, this mental illness, not mental illness actually, but mental stress and depression is is a kind of a very vague thing. लोग इससे बहुत एक vague तरीके से देखते हैं. उनका ये मानना है कि ऐसा तो कुछ exist ही नहीं करता है, something like depression or mental stress. These things do not exist in India, although these things actually exist. But most of the Indians do not believe that things like depression and mental stress exactly exist. So when it comes to this 21st century, a lot of people in India are suffering from this mental stress and depression. The reason is very simple, because the today's world is actually focusing on the materialistic things, and the exact definition of how much you have developed is directly related with your material growth. So now India is currently witnessing a surge in mental health disorders. According to the Lancet Psychiatric Commission, over 197 million people suffer from conditions such as depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. So this is a big number, that 197 million people are suffering from such kind of things. Now, a lot of philosophical questions comes to the mind of a candidate when it is on the, when it is mentally not stable to perform any kind of job. The questions are like, who am I? What is the purpose of my life? How should I live? Now, these are the various questions which in itself, question your existence. Now, when a person try to question its existence, then it definitely means that he is not in the correct state of mind. Now, a lot of philosophical examples have been given, a lot of thinkers have been discussed, but we won't be dealing with those thinkers and philosophers because they won't ask in the examination. So, though this particular topic is very sensitive and important, we'll try to extract something for our examination, because we all know that in India we do not, acknowledge the kind of mental stress. Though there is an exam on the head, we have to focus on the examination and the information which is relevant for the examination. So how this riding stress and anxiety is causing a lot of problems. So rising stress and anxiety cases is acting as a mental health epidemic in India. So India is kind of going through a mental health epidemic. Now what is a epidemic? जो किसी एक बहुत ही एक restricted area में कोई ऐसी disease जो एक restricted area में फैलती है. So in India, mental health is now an epidemic. Most of the working class people are suffering from this mental health epidemic. The relentless pressure of urban living, financial stability, and fierce competition are significant contributors. So, what are the various factors which are actually contributing towards the bad mental health of the individuals? Are the relentless pressure of urban living, because the pressure of urban living is quite expensive. Financial instability. In private sector, there is no financial stability. Today you are working, tomorrow you are not. Day after tomorrow you are working, and then again you are not. Today your salary is 75,000. Tomorrow your salary will be 90,000, and day before tomorrow, I mean, day after tomorrow, your salary will be again 60,000. So you don't have the exact path of growth. So these are the various reasons why a person is suffering from a mental health, because of these kind of issues. Now, while material health provides a temporary comfort, it fails to meet deeper emotional and psychological needs. So again, the kind of development which we are seeking is that as a development of material development. But material development से long term satisfaction is मिलेगा ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है. The long term these material products or material substances will not provide you the long term needs, will not satisfy your long term emotional needs. This will satisfy your temporary comfort, but it won't serve as a deeper emotional cycle. It won't you know serve your long-term emotional needs. So this is one problem that you have to understand. To address this crisis, we must shift focus from an individual success to collective well-being. Study shows that strong social connections, supportive communities, and meaningful work are critical to mental health. So what are these important aspects which actually can improve the mental health of a candidate, mental health of a person? So a person lives in the society, right? So the people living in the society, the social connections, supportive communities. You are living in a community of your own. I'm a teacher, so I'm living amongst the communities of the teacher. So right, so the community in which I am working, the meaningful work or critical mental health are critical to mental health. So these supportive communities, strong social connections, these are the sine qua non for a good mental health. The reason is very simple. We are a social animal. Human beings are social animal. So we need a good society to sustain our lives, which is directly related. We don't need some hard and fast rule to solve this particular problem. We have to make this society more accommodative, that people in this society should think something else than the profit. If the companies will think more about profit, तो फिर ये mental stress की जो problem है ये कभी solve नहीं होगी. हमें एक यूनिट की तरह नहीं, हमें एक इनपुट यूनिट की तरह कंसीडर नहीं करना चाहिए इन वर्कर्स को. फॉर इंस्टेंस द कर्नाटका शॉप एंड कमर्शियल, और आजकल एक देयर इज अ न्यू ट्रेंड दैट इज गोइंग ऑन, दैट ओवरवर्क इज वेरी मच अप्रिशिएटेड. that if you are doing a lot of work, you are working like 18 or 19 hours a day, then you will be appreciated a lot. Now, at what cost you are doing that particular work, nobody understands. And after some point of time, that will be journalized. It will be journalized. Doing an extra work or doing a lot of work will be journalized, and this will become a journal expectation from everyone. Now, earlier people used to work for 8 hours in the office. Now, this journalization will make their 8 hours office to 10 hours office, right? So, journalization is very much, this generalization of overwork should be criticized as much as possible, because at the end of the day, if that particular person have lost their life, then there is no point of doing a lot of extra work. Improving mental health requires embracing community oriented living that challenges the individualized lifestyle promoted by consumer culture. So this consumer culture, where a lot of person are getting affected by a lot many things that they are seeing somewhere on any social media platform. So this whole consumer culture has affected the individual lives of each and every resident of this country. Because once you saw that once you saw that particular advertisement in the newspaper, you will start visualizing yourself while using that particular product or while wearing that particular apparel. So these are the things that we have to understand. Modern consumerism equates freedom with personal consumption, weakening social bonds that traditionally held communities together. In contrast, community living fosters a sustainable alternative, shared responsibility. So at the end of the day, in a country like India, we should not face this kind of problem because our social connections are very strong. We have a lot of emotions in us, and we have a lot of emotions to feel. If we are actually facing this kind of problem in Indian society and the kind of societal structure that India have, then we actually need to look into it. Because at the end of the day, if the mental state or the mental well-being of a student is not good, then you cannot promise, or not only student, of any individual, then you cannot promise that person the first thing that he will perform at his 100%, and the second, whether he will survive or not. Because at the end of the day, Darwin says the survival of the fittest. So if that person is not fit to survive, then he will definitely lose his life battle. So at what cost people are losing their life? Materialism and materialistic development. कंज्यूमरिस्टिक अप्रोच जो हो रहा है कि हम बहुत सारे फैंसी गुड्स देख रहे हैं, उन्हें खरीदने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, पैसे हैं नहीं, मेंटल स्ट्रेस है। दिन में काम 8 घंटे करना है, बट बॉस ने काम 15 घंटे का दे रखा है, मेंटल स्ट्रेस है। You wanted to have a Nike Air Jordan, but you couldn't afford it. Mental stress. So a lot of help, a lot of effort is needed from the community as well. That the people have to understand that the generation in journal is suffering from a lot of problem. Right, the problem of mental stress, the problem of not having a fancy life, the problem of not having good friends, the problem of having a lot of work pressure. So we have to acknowledge that these kind of mental problems do exist, and we have to solve them as soon as possible. Because if we don't solve this particular mental health issue of the citizens of a country, then we won't be able to incentivize this demographic dividend. Because the person who are actually going to work in the industries, they should have the proper mental condition or proper mental health to work in or to contribute in the development of this country. So this is the need of the hour, that the government and the society in general should focus and try to acknowledge and recognize these kinds of problem, so that we can have an effective solution for the same. Right. So this was all about this article. And why were we discussing this particular article? Because today is the World Mental Health Day. So that's why both the articles are related to mental health, and this is your examination time. So these kind of article becomes extremely important. The articles which one are related to mental health. So I'm putting a lot of effort in making you understand that what is the importance of mental health. So please, you know, do show your gratitude by liking this particular video, because actually this took a lot of effort. We started. This took exactly 45 to 50 minutes to read the newspaper every day. So right at 9:50 we started doing this live session. So yeah. So you have to consider my mental health as well. Your likes and comments are going to improve my mental health as well. So please do that. In recent years, a troubling trend has emerged in several countries: a rise in suicide among young professionals. So the earlier the article was focusing on the material things. Now this particular article is correlating the problem or the social, not the social level, the that unfortunate thing suicide amongst the young professionals. Why there is a rise in the cases of suicide among the young professionals. Now this particular problem and the solution of or the root cause of this particular problem is the overwhelming stress and tension at the workplace. So if you're causing a lot of stress and tensions at the workplace, then the young professionals or these young workers are not able to survive or cope up with that kind of mental stress. In 2023, 2900 people in Japan ended their lives due to overwork, right? So this is actually a big number. A country like Japan, where a lot of ethics and ethos are being followed, in that particular country 2900 people have lost their life because of this particular work stress. A Statista report on suicide among Indian professionals in the private sector for the year 2022 puts the number as 11,486. So as per this Statista report, 11,486 people who are working in the private sector have lost their life in 2022. They have not lost their life, they have ended their life. Means they have committed suicide. 11,486 people in India who are working in the private sector have lost their life because of the tension and the stress of the workplace. The reason behind this brutal work culture is clear: profit. So when I was in class 12th, I used to study about this business studies. I was studying this particular subject, business studies. So when I was studying that subject, there was a basic difference between a business model and a NGO. The basic model of an NGO of a business is to make a lot of profit. So today's business are focusing on only one thing, and the whole work culture is focusing on only one thing, that is profit. And if and nobody is actually concerned that this profit is coming at what cost. That 11,486 people have paid the cost for the same by committing suicide because they were not able to handle the work pressure and the work culture they are working in today's competitive economy. Business focus on cost cutting, efficiency and productivity. So these are various aspects how private sector try to maximize the profit by doing a lot of unnecessary thing in the name of cost cutting. They won't work on efficiency and productivity, but they will do a lot of thing in the on the on cost cutting, because that will directly help in saving the revenue. So in this mindset is now now many organizations have adopted a belief system where success is tied to hustle and bustle culture, assuming that perpetual activity will lead to the better result. So actually, the whole concept is flawed in India. A lot of private sector companies are doing a thing that they will create a lot of hustle and bustle in their office, just to make sure that everybody has this belief that we are doing a lot of work and will definitely gonna achieve a better result. This mindset is not new. Some scholars believe that the root of this work obsession can be traced back to Max Weber's influential work, The Protestant's Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, which links hard work with moral virtue. According to Weber, success and diligence were not just signs of professional capability but of moral worth. Today, unfortunately, these ethos thrive in high stakes industries such as technology, finance, and law, where not just hard work but also overwork is celebrated and even glorified. The consequences are devastating. Now everybody should come towards these industries where this the problem of or the culture of overwork is very much appreciated. That if you if you work apart from your fixed numbers of, you will be very much appreciated. And yet at some places you won't be appreciated, you won't be glorified at all. They will feel that this is your work, you have to do. If you are taking 10 hours, 20 hours, that's your problem. We are just concerned with the work. We are not concerned with your mental state. We are not concerned with anything. Even if you die, you die. You just give me the work. So this is how things are going on in the market. And unfortunately, this is actually, this was some times ago, it used to correct that जिस तरीके का आपका वर्क ऑब्सेशन, या अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा हार्ड वर्किंग हैं तो आपको ये माना जाता था कि आपके जो मॉरल वर्च्यूज हैं, मॉरल वैल्यूज हैं, बहुत हाई है। बट इस चीज़ को अब गलत तरीके से ही लिया जा रहा है, गलत कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लिया जा रहा है। वंस ओवरवर्क बिकम्स नॉर्मलाइज, एम्प्लॉयर्स में रैशनलाइज it is a beneficial or even essential for organizational growth. So you have to understand that if you normalize the concept of overwork, so that overwork will become the new journal law, and organization will expect that you will perform in a journal.
ही विल परफॉर्म दैट मच टास्क. सपोज अभी आपका एवरेज वर्किंग आवर 7 आवर्स है, आप 9 घंटे काम करना शुरू कर दें, देन द एम्प्लॉयर विल फील दैट दिस पर्सन कैन एक्चुअली वर्क फॉर 9 आवर्स. वो आपको 2 घंटे का एक्स्ट्रा काम देगा. Then we'll start working. Then 9 hours will become a new normal, and 2 hours will add as an extra work. So you won't be able to say no, and after some point of time, you'll be under a lot of mental stress and trauma. That you have a lot in plate, then you can consume. और ये जो भी आपकी प्लेट पे, ये आप ही ने इनवाइट किया है, ये आपकी प्लेट पे किसी ने ज़बरदस्ती ला के नहीं रखा है, बिकॉज यू हैव नॉर्मलाइज दिस होल थिंग ऑफ ओवरवर्क. So you are facing a lot of problem. Now, the human relations movement, which began in the early 20th century, underscored the importance of employee satisfaction in improving organizational efficiency. So, long term, in long run, the companies and the employers have to understand that employee satisfaction, at the end of the day, employee satisfaction also helps in improving the work efficiency. So that is also very much required and needed. Now, so how do we get there? While dismissing this as wishful thinking, the first step for companies is to reassess their work culture and expectation. Employees should reduce excessive working hours after flexible schedules and embrace remote work when possible. So these are the various steps which have been suggested for the companies, that how can actually companies and employers reduce this excessive work, excessive mental stress by removing excessive working hours and making the schedule more flexible and allowing to work from home or remote work when it is possible. Encouraging regular breaks and vacations is also vital in preventing burnout. Equally important is providing psychological support. So right now, these are the various things that timely vacations or timely breaks are equally important. And until and unless the person gets timely break, his body and his mind will suffer a kind of burnout. Well, he or she will feel that he is of no use. Nothing is going in his head properly. Nothing is actually working in his head properly, and his brain had stopped functioning. If you are in a situation like this, then you are actually suffering from a burnout. It's a mental burnout. Your brain is actually exhausted. You need to take a 2 or 3 days break. Then you have to start again. So this was all about this particular article. If you want to see this article, you can read this particular article in totality. There is no problem in that. So before moving forward, we have finished the editorial part. So today's World Mental Health Day, and I request to each and every aspirant that nothing can substitute you and nothing can replace you. This is just one exam for which you are preparing. Right? There is no need to worry about the result. Right? You don't have to take the mental stress at all. Just make yourself strong, make yourself ready for this. And once you feel that you have everything which is required for the examination, then go hard for it. There is no point in taking mental stress. Life is very small. Enjoy and embrace each and every day. Life is not about missing n number of opportunities, because everyday life will offer you n number of opportunities. So if you'll regret about losing the number of opportunities, then you will be in regret all your life. If you want to actually survive and grow, then you have to focus, you have to focus more on grabbing those opportunities, because losing 10 opportunities does not matter that much. Incentivizing that one opportunity matters everything, or it is about that's everything. If you incentivize, if you catch that one opportunity and incentivize it, that's all what needed in life. This, because at the end of the day, an idea can change your life, right? So वो आइडिया आपको इस एज में है, आज के 10 साल बाद है, नो बडी नोज. मेंटली स्ट्रेस नहीं लेना है, तब तक हमें कॉन्टिन्यूसली बस अपनी इस जर्नी को स्टार्ट रखना है. Because someday you will feel it, that yeah, we have done a lot of hard work, and we should cherish that kind of thing, to give your self a bit of release, a mental stress release, so which is actually needed. अब वाईजैक स्टील प्लांट में प्रोटेस्ट क्यों हो रहा है? इफ़ यू वांट टू सी, यू कैन सी. अभी ये सैमसंग वर्कर्स का जो तमिलनाडु में स्ट्राइक चल रहा है, और ये स्ट्राइक चल क्यों रहा है? बेसिक इनकी कुछ डिमांड्स हैं. अभी सैमसंग इज अ साउथ कोरियन कंपनी विच हैज़ a factory in Tamil Nadu, and the workers of that particular factory are protesting for a great number of days. Now they have various demands. These 1800 employees have various demands. Now these demands are basically the higher wages. एक मंथ हो गया है मैं इस स्ट्राइक को. हायर वेजेस की डिमांड है इनकी. फिर 8 वर्किंग आवर्स होने चाहिए एक दिन में, नॉट मोर देन दैट. बेटर वर्किंग कंडीशंस and also they want that their union which was formed recently, Samsung India Workers Union, SU, it should be actually recognized by the labor, the company. So what I have heard is that the most of their demands have been fulfilled. Apart from this last demand, the company is not allowing, or the company is not in the mood to recognize their workers union. So this is one important news why this particular strike is taking place, because their demands are not met. What are their demands? 8-hour working day, then higher wages, good working conditions, and the recognition to their labor union, SIVU, Samsung India Workers Union. Now, if Samsung wants to do this, the Samsung can actually do this, because in financial year 2023 there was the total revenue of this company was 198 billion dollar. That's not a less amount. This is close to 14-15 lakh crore rupees. Now the company like this is actually not able to meet the demand of these 1800 workers who are actually working, who are manufacturing product for the Samsung. The reason is very simple. Samsung thinks that if we fulfill the demand of these workers, this will actually spread like a disease. Everybody will start demanding, but that's a fair demand. That's not something they are demanding out of the box. That is what is a minimum for them. The 8 working hours, higher wages. So basic thing for a person working in the private sector. And what they're demanding that their union should be recognized. So this is the main problem, that why uh, this is not done. And also this Samsung India Workers Union has also filed a case in the Madras High Court, and in that particular case, in that particular petition, this Samsung India Workers Union are demanding that their union should be registered immediately, as registration grants union legal standing and afford it certain protections under the TU Act. Now, the last thing before moving into the next article, that the legal recognition to this union will bestow the legal status, or the status of the legal personality to this particular union. So there are a lot of benefits when a legal recognition is granted to the workers union. So for the same reason, Sivu has filed a petition in the Madras High Court. Let's see क्या होता है, कोई update होता है क्या नहीं. Then this is this whole page number 12. Please do not read page number 12 if you are not a political enthusiast. Then do not read page number 12. It is everything is related to the elections which took place in Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir. So you don't have to read page number 12. You can skip page number 12 in totality. Now the RBI has the maintain its benchmark interest rate at 6.5% for the 10th consecutive monetary policy review. Since April 2023, the government does not change. The government have not changed this interest rate, which was set at 6.5%, and this is the 10th consecutive time that 10th successive monetary policy review under which this particular bank interest rate was not changed by the Reserve Bank of India. So, which is actually somehow it is helping. Now these are the two news items which are extremely important for us. First one is coming all the way from United States of America, and the second one is basically this Asian India Summit. So the Cabinet Committee on Security on Wednesday approved two high profile deals for the purchase of 31 MQ-9B high altitude long endurance hail unmanned aerial vehicles. So जो हमने कितने drones खरीदे? So we have purchased 31 MQ-9B high altitude drones from the General Atomics of the United States of America, and indigenous construction of two nuclear attack submarines. So we have finalized, not we, but the Cabinet Committee on Security have finalized the 31 MQ-9B drones and two nuclear attack submarines. Two nuclear attack submarines. These submarines have to be constructed in India, and these 31 drones will be taken from the United States of America. The company which is going to manufacture these drones is General Atomics. So we are taking these drones from the General Atomics. The deal for 31 MQ-9B UAVs, 15 Sea Guardians for the Indian Navy, and 16 Sky Guardians each. So basically 15 Sea Guardians, so 15 जो total ये 31 ड्रोन्स हम मंगा रहे हैं, इसमें से 15 जाएंगे नेवी के पास, 16 जाएंगे इंडियन आर्मी के पास और 8 इंडियन एयरफोर्स के पास। इन 31 एयर जो ड्रोन्स हम मंगा रहे हैं, 31 ड्रोन्स का जो टोटल वैल्यू है दैट इज क्लोज टू 33,000 करोड़, 33 to 34,000 करोड़ रुपीज वैल्यू है इन 31 MQ-9B ड्रोन्स की, जिसमें से 15 जाएंगे नेवी के पास, 8 जाएंगे एयर आर्मी के पास और 8 जाएंगे एयरफोर्स के पास। So this is one thing which is extremely important for Indian defense point of view, that we have purchased 31 MQ-9B drones from aerial drones from the United States of America, and we will have also signed an agreement to construct 2 nuclear attack submarines in India. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Laos on Thursday and Friday to attend the 21 ASEAN India and the 19th East Asia Summit. So, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting to Laos on Thursday and Friday, basically today and tomorrow, to attend the 21st ASEAN India and the 19th East Asia Summit. This summit becomes very important. This ASEAN India Summit becomes very important because of the kind of impact or the kind of situation that China is creating in South China Sea. There is a lot of tension going on between Philippines and China. So in in light of these kind of events, this particular visit becomes extremely important. Now, the ASEAN summit, which began on October 6, is significant as it is being held against the backdrop of heated tension between China and Philippines, and China over maritime issues in the South China Sea and the crisis in Myanmar, where the ethnic groups are scoring big victories against the military force of junta. So these are the various reasons why this ASEAN India summit becomes very important. Because first, Philippines is facing a lot of problem from China, and the second problem that is going on in Myanmar. Now the Myanmar Manipur border issue, we don't have to go into the deep because we have already done a lot of things in the classes. So this military rebellion, that is known as junta rebellion. So now these ethnic groups are winning war or winning big victories against this junta rebellion. And this is the same rebellion which overpowered Aung San Suu Kyi. डेमोक्रेटिकली इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट थी, आंग सान सू की को ओवर पावर करके जुंता रिबेलियन आता है, और जुंता रिबेलियन को अब एथनिक ग्रुप, बहुत सारे एथनिक ग्रुप्स हैं म्यांमार में जो हरा रहे हैं. सो ये सारी प्रॉब्लम जो एशिया में चल रही है, इसकी वजह से एशियान इंडिया समिट इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड दिस इज द 21st एडिशन taking place in Laos. Taking place in Laos. So this is all which is important for a ASEAN India summit. Now, दिस इज फर्स्ट टाइम हम बिजनेस सेक्टर की कोई न्यूज़ को इतना ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस देने जा रहे हैं. सो द मेजर मोटर मैन्युफैक्चरर, द मेजर कार मैन्युफैक्चरर ऑफ इंडिया, Hyundai. Now Hyundai has unveiled India's largest IPO. The value of the initial public offering, the value of this initial public offering or the public offer is 27,870 crore. 20 with 27,870 crore rupees, this particular IPO of Hyundai has become the biggest IPO of a country. So this IPO of Hyundai, which worth around 27,870 crore rupees, is the biggest IPO of a country launched by the Hyundai motor manufacturers. Now, so Bolivia has joined the South Africa's case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. Now, in the month of January 2024, South Africa filed a case against the Israel for violating the principles of violating the laws which are given in the Genocide Convention 1948. Israel के अगेंस्ट साउथ अफ्रीका इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस गया था फॉर द वायलेशन ऑफ जेनोसाइड कन्वेंशन 1948. Now Bolivia has joined South Africa at the International Court of Justice. So basically, Bolivia is also of the opinion that the activities or the deaths which are actually happening in Lebanon, Gaza, and all that area are a kind of a genocide. So this is one thing that we have to understand, that Bolivia is becoming the next country, or Bolivia became the next country to join the South Africa at International Court of Justice. And Bolivia is not the first country to join the South Africa. Apart from Bolivia, there are other countries like Colombia, Libya, Spain, and Mexico that became the party to the case against Israel. So other countries have joined the race as well. Bolivia is late in this race. So this is one important news, and another important news is coming all the way from Japan, where the new Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, जो अभी तक प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे किशिदा फूमियो किशिदा, उन्होंने उनके बाद अभी आ गए न्यू प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो है शिगेरू इशिबा. Now, after Mr. Ishiba has dissolved the parliament on Wednesday, and he has called for a snap election, and this particular attempt by the Mr. Ishiba will make sure that new Japan or the new days Japan is created. So this is one important news. Mr. Ishiba की पार्टी का नाम याद रखिएगा, लिबरल डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी (LDP). So Mr. Ishiba represents or Liberal Democratic Party, and he have dissolved the parliament on Wednesday and demanding the snap elections to create a new Japan. To create a new Japan. Now we have the winners of chemistry Nobel with us, not with us actually. We are going to discuss about them in the newspaper. So Trio wins chemistry Nobel for work on protein design and predictions of structures. David Barker, John Jumper, and Demis Hassabis. These are the recipient of 2024 Nobel Prize for Chemistry. And this particular Nobel was awarded for computational protein design along with uh, we have to understand now the 2024 Nobel Prize for Chemistry was given to three persons, David Barker, then we have John Jumper and Demis Hassabis. Now, David Barker or David Baker got this Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2024 for computational protein design. Demis Hassabis and John Jumper for protein structure prediction. So इन दोनों ही इन तीनों लोगों को, जॉन बेकर को एक अलग चीज़ के लिए केमिस्ट्री का नोबेल मिला है, और इन दोनों लोगों को जॉन जम्पर एंड मिस्टर डेमिस हैसबीज इनको मिला है अवार्ड नोबेल प्राइज फॉर प्रोटीन स्ट्रक्चरल प्रिडिक्शन. सो प्रोटीन स्ट्रक्चर प्रिडिक्शन के लिए मिला है जॉन जम्पर एंड डेमिस हैसबीज को, और डेविड बेकर को मिला है फॉर कंप्यूटेशनल प्रोटीन डिज़ाइन. So these are the winners of 2024 Nobel Prize for Chemistry. Remember their name: David Baker, John Jumper, and Demis Hassabis. David Baker for computational protein design, and John Jumper and Demis Hassabis for protein structure and prediction. Israel is continuing its strike in Lebanon. Things are getting worse in Beirut as well, because Israel is intensifying the attacks in Lebanon. Hezbollah is fighting to defend Lebanon. Now, this is the kind of very sad state of affair that ambassador of Lebanon, Rabbi Nash. So Rabbi Nash is of the opinion that Hezbollah, this is a militant group, is actually defending the territory of Lebanon. So if this is a statement from the Lebanon, then Israel is absolutely justified in destroying or ruining the Lebanon at its at its worst. Because if you are saying that Lebanon is not able to fight for its sovereignty, and Israel is not attacking the sovereignty of Lebanon, Israel is actually attacking on the Hezbollah and the places where Hezbollah have made their offices and centers. Now, if you are saying that Hezbollah is defending the territory of Lebanon, then it is quite implied. It is implied that Israel will destroy your territory, because your territory is protected by some organization which is not liked by anyone all around the world apart from Iran. So these kind of statement will definitely hurt Lebanon in a long run. ASEAN calls for an end to the violence in Myanmar. So we have already seen that there's a 21st ASEAN in India summit, where the claims, where a lot of effort have been made to end the violence which has going on with Myanmar, where a lot of ethnic और this closed set जो लोग हैं कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं वो जुनता रेबिलियंस को हरा रहे हैं छोटे छोटे वोट्स में. So this is it. And in sports section, if you want to look at the sports section, you can have a look at the sports section, but there is nothing apart from cricket. The worst part is, apart from cricket, they do not discuss anything. So this is it. This is all about the current affairs of 10th of October 2024. And with this, we have completed the news analysis of 10th of October 2024. And I wish you a happy uh, World Mental Health Day. Why happy? Because you deserve all the happiness, because you students are doing a lot of hard work. So you deserve a lot of happiness and a good state of mind. do everything which is needed for the examination, but not at the cost of causing a lot of tension at the top floor. Keep your brain gutter free, keep your brain healthy and smart. Be happy, that's the only key to success. Hard work along with the happiness are the keys to success. There is no single key to success. If you will do a lot of hard work and you will not mentally satisfied, then you will succumb to the mental pressure. So it's better that you focus on your mental health today so that you can perform in your examination tomorrow. So your today will define you tomorrow. On that note, I will end today's, I'll wrap up today's session. So do like this video and subscribe to Success Mantra digital channel. I hope to see you tomorrow again around the same time. Till then, bye bye, take care and take a proper care of yourself. Dengue फैल रहा है, so start wearing those full sleeve shirt and pants. So that's the only advice. Rest, you know everything. Till then, bye bye, take care. मिलते हैं वापस.